Welcome, everybody. Episode 9. We are an extension of the Facebook group, Type 1 Diabetics for 50 years plus. And all discussions are open and unedited. These are the participants' personal experiences, and expressed comments or opinions are not to be taken as medical advice of any kind. Always check with your doctors before making any changes to any of your medications or therapies. Today we've got my lovely wife, Karen, type 1 for 59 years.
Hello.
And we've got Marcy, a type 1 for 52 years.
Hello.
And we are today meeting our member from the UK, from England, Janice, type 1 for 62.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes, at the age of 8.
And you have been with our group almost since the beginning. You've seen a ton of growth in this group.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's we're just recently passing the 2000 mark. So you were there from the beginning. You've seen it through the hundreds, through the thousands. Yeah, just past 2000 now.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful, isn't it? You know, I didn't think that many of us existed.
I don't think many of us did.
No.
And I'd like to mention that Janice is our beautiful ballerina from England. My goodness, I don't know how you did that.
No, I don't know now either. I mean, I still do classes. I did one yesterday, and something's happened. Yeah, I did one yesterday and was quite worn out. I did 2 actually yesterday. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But there we go.
That's a beautiful picture.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Did you have many lows while you were performing?
Not while I was performing. I mean, there might have been times when I was starting to go low, but I could do something about it quickly. But it was classes. When I started full-time trading, I knew that it was going to be more difficult with the insulin and adjusting it. But it was a lot more difficult than I thought. And I ended up, through trial and error, halving the amount of insulin that I took.
Wow.
And did anyone in your troupe help you or not?
No, because nobody knew about diabetes. The doctors didn't, consultants didn't understand. So I just had to try my best. But I was determined. I didn't want to make a fuss about it.
Right.
In case I got thrown out or out of the school or something. So I had to find a way. Yeah. So I did.
Wonderful.
And it worked. It worked. Yeah.
It's amazing. I remember when you first joined and you were telling us a little bit about the story about your original diagnosis and so forth, about just jumping on beds and stuff. You were just an absolute bundle of energy back then.
Well, I was on insulin about a week after I'd started on it. But when I first went into hospital, I remember I was in a ward full of boys, and they were older boys than me, and they were trying to make me feel at ease and talk to me. I didn't even have the energy to talk. Then I spent 3 days having tests. Then they started me on insulin. They said, you'll have a good square meal, because I hadn't eaten for 3 days and I was starving. You'll have a good square meal. Anyway, the hours went by. Everybody had lunch. I'm still waiting for this good square meal. Then halfway through the afternoon, they brought me a glass of milk and 2 biscuits. That was it.
Wow.
No.
I was so upset. Oh dear. That after that, the insulin kicked in, and I started eating with everybody else, and really enjoyed it. Yeah. Yeah. So after a week, I had plenty of energy and was jumping across the beds when we should, but for the 2 hours after lunch. I was the same as everybody else, and that's all we all want, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Right. Was that jumping across the beds? Was that pirouetting or
Oh no, 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 no. No, it was just jumping like all the other kids, throwing teddy bears across the room, and the nurses would come in and tell us off, and so we'd be quiet for about 5 minutes and start all over again. But it was nice that I had the energy to do it, because all the time I was kind of had symptoms. I had less and less energy. I couldn't be bothered to talk. I couldn't be bothered to do anything. I couldn't run across the playground at school, couldn't do PE. I just didn't have the energy. So I couldn't swallow. I remember I was so dry. So I used to stay for school dinners, but I couldn't swallow the food. So I worked it so I could go home, and it was quite a walk, but anyway, I did the walk home. My mother always left me soup and bread, and that I could manage. But anything else I couldn't, unless I had tons and tons of water, which doesn't happen when you have school dinners. So
How old were you, Denise? How old were you, Janice, when you were diagnosed? Eight. Okay.
Yeah. And it started, I remember, shortly after the symptoms, started shortly after my 8th birthday. I had a virus, tummy bug, and I didn't seem to get better. But I got better from the initial symptoms, but the symptoms of diabetes started. Wow. And my mother took me backwards and forwards to the doctor. He didn't have a clue. He was, I heard later, of the understanding that if a child was ill, they must be unhappy at home. So it was psychological. He actually got into trouble for that, but there we go. I live to tell the tale, so it's all water under the bridge. Yeah. Oh,
there's another image up there. This image was just taken. This was last year, so you're still teaching, but this was part of a performance just recently, was it not?
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you.
Oh, okay. This was an image just taken. I think this image was from last year. And
that was July. Yeah, last July. Yeah.
From a performance. So you're not just teaching; you are still performing too, correct?
Yeah, I don't teach anymore. I've stopped teaching. I retired nearly 6 years ago, actually. God, that's frightening. Nearly 6 years ago, 65. 64 and a half. Yeah. But I still dance. And but the picture there, that was the last show I did. Last July. Yeah.
Now, are you wearing a pump there? Are you on pump? Are you on MDI? How do you control, or how do you control your insulin?
Oh, right. So sorry. Yes, I am on MDI. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Now the thing is, I was offered a pump, but I do a lot of, because I dance. It's not just ballet. I do contemporary as well, contemporary dance, which involves a lot of rolling around on the floor. So I don't really want anything attached to me, which could come off or become embedded in me. So I decided that MDI was better for me.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. So how long has everybody else had diabetes for, type 1?
Well, I'm the baby. I've been only 52 years. It'll be 53 next year. So
right.
Yeah. This is the only place I'm a baby. I'm 67.
And I'm 59 for me. 59.
59. Right. Yeah. Oh, congratulations again.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I was diagnosed at 2.5.
Oh, goodness. Right. Yeah. So really, you've not known another way of life.
That's right. It's the only way of life I remember is diabetes. Yeah.
But do you find that it just seems ordinary, to
yeah. I mean, just like people get up and have a cup of coffee in the morning, I used to get up, check my sugars, do an injection. Well, I went on a pump just over a year ago on the Omnipod, and it's tubeless, and it's because I didn't want anything connected to me either. But the little pod is like just a little little bump on your arm or your thigh or whatever.
Ah, right.
Tube.
Uh-huh.
So now I don't even get up and do an injection. I just get up, come out and feed my cat and make my coffee. So I've lost a step. I don't have to do a needle every morning. So,
Oh, how wonderful.
and I'm surprised at how quickly I got used to that after 58 years of injections. So
Yeah. Good. Yeah, but I don't suppose, given the opportunity, I don't think I'd miss it. And what about you, Del?
Well, what about me? I watch over Karen and make sure she is looked after.
But
Oh,
you're
yeah.
diabetic?
I am the only one in the group, period. I'm the only one in the group that is not type 1.
Oh, right. I assumed.
Everyone else
I
in the
know you
group
should
is.
never assume. I assumed that you must be type 1 as well.
Yeah.
I do beg your pardon.
No, but I seem to be able to relate quite well with the group. So.
Yes.
He gets a pass because he started the group, right?
Yeah.
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 There is so much wisdom in this group. It is amazing. One of the things that has really happened, I am so proud of, because I was there the first time we had one of these meetups in the Toronto area.
Yeah.
And I know we're starting to have some of them around the world and so forth. And you were in one as well, out your way. And
yes.
Hopefully it's on the screen now.
Yes.
What are your feelings on these things? Because I know Karen's was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant because I'm sure that most of us don't know anybody with diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so it's nice to meet people that do, that we all checked our sugar at the same time. Those of us on injections all had an injection at the same time. We actually even ate the same things. We each all ate salad, and there was a rather nice prawn salad. It was really nice because you don't have to explain anything. You all talk the same language.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it makes such a change.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
And I get fed up having to explain, frankly. So normally I don't say very well. I don't say anything, to other people who don't have diabetes, I don't actually talk about it. They don't know any other. They think I'm the same as them.
A lot of times it doesn't do any good. So, I mean, what's the point? That's a terrible attitude. But anyway, it's the attitude I have.
Yeah. And I remember, some very good friends. They do know that I'm diabetic. But the chap with it's a couple, man and wife. The chap was saying to me, he's a driving instructor. I've been taking somebody at the University of Winchester for driving lessons, and he's diabetic. Do you know he has 4 injections every day? Aren't you glad you don't have to do that? I just looked at him.
It's like, hello.
Oh, dear. Probably because when we have meals together, I do everything under the table. Oh dear.
Wow.
Oh dear. But you always think because you're aware of what you're doing that everybody else is, but apparently not.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Wow. Huh. And did you notice a big change in your eyesight after the cataract surgery, Janice?
I did. I had the right one that looked like my left one, but I had the right one done first, and that made a terrific difference.
Yeah.
And then, I had to wait until after that show that pictures from before I had the other one done. So it was 6-7 months later I had this one done. It didn't seem to make any difference. The only difference it made was colour.
Okay.
Yeah, I realised that red, as I saw it, wasn't red. It was Barbie pink.
Really? There's that far difference, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So But apparently they were congenital.
Okay.
So for most of my life, they didn't change at all until I got to 65, and then they turned into old people's cataracts.
Oh, no.
So I had to have them out. Oh dear. There we go.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
life.
mine were diabetic cataracts. And so when I had mine out, I really noticed a change in clarity and vision and the sharpness of things. It made a huge difference having them out.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I really noticed. I thought my house was clean. And I remember coming into the room where I am now, and I had my daughter with me. I said, "My goodness, look at all that dust." She said, "Mum, that's been there ages." I said, "Well, I cleaned it." She said, "But you couldn't see properly." I could, yeah, I wouldn't admit it, but yeah. I said, yeah, it must have made a difference because I could definitely see the dust.
Yeah.
I bet it's not there now, right?
Oh, mine
Oh,
still
dear.
is. I'll blame it on my cataracts, but I don't see well now. But
You've had both yours done now.
yes. But I still have a dusty house. So now what do I blame it on? Just lack of effort.
You're tired. You're
Life's
fatigued.
too short, isn't it?
It'll wait. It'll wait.
Yeah,
In
indeed,
the big scheme of things, it really doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
The
my
dust.
mom used to always say that the dust bunnies will be there tomorrow. Go in and do the
Yeah.
things you want.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, dear. Yeah. So have any of you found that diabetes had a negative effect on life as you went through life, or did you adapt so that?
I think diabetes has been somewhat positive for me, which is an odd thing. It's made me more aware of different things during my life and how to remain alive. And so that's a big thing. It's made me a more caring and empathetic person. Although sometimes that's not true, but most of the time it is.
Right. Yeah. So all positive. But what about in terms of work? I mean, I don't know what it's like in the US, but I know one time I was turned down for work because of the diabetes.
Wow.
Yeah, well, see, what I've learned about work, and I've worked my entire life for health insurance, okay? And most people don't know what type 1 diabetes entails. And so to me, that was a good thing. And I see people on in other groups complaining about that nobody knows how they feel. I don't want them to know how I feel, okay?
Exactly. Yeah. That's how I feel. Yeah.
So, but I never had a problem getting a job, and I put it out there because if they didn't want me there, I definitely didn't want to be there.
Right.
So.
Well, in the UK, many years ago, again, people didn't understand.
Right.
And on an application form, you get to the health bit, which was near the end of each form, at the end of about 4 pages. And that's where you entered it. And I found I wasn't getting interviews for ordinary jobs. I mean, in dance, they didn't care as long as I could dance. But in ordinary jobs, they did. And I didn't seem to get interviews. So I thought, well, I'll try not putting about the diabetes on, which I tried and didn't have problems getting interviews. But when it came, they go through the application form at an interview. So when it got to the health part, I'd say, oh, well, yes, well, I am type 1 diabetic, but it doesn't affect my work. And they just make a note and the interview carried on. And that seemed to be a better way for me to handle things.
Right.
We got about 4 minutes, ladies. About 4 minutes.
Yeah. Sorry?
Got about
We have
4 minutes. Carry on. Actually, Karen, any other questions or comments? Karen?
How many children do you have, Janice?
2.
Oh, nice.
do. Yes, a boy who's now 37.
Uh-huh.
And I know an old teacher of his, she said, if you tell me that Adam's 37, it makes me feel so old. I said, you think you've got problems anyway. Yeah, he's 37. My daughter's 34, coming up 35. Yes, coming up 35. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But she's
Very-
off to Australia probably in May, and she's going to stay there for at least a couple of years and do other traveling as well. So
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Nice.
Yeah. And I'll miss her. I will
Yes.
miss her.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have one son and he'll be 32 this year and he lives
Oh,
in
right.
Philadelphia.
Oh, right. Yeah. So similar sort of ages then, in their 30s. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Now,
And
now
then
I
what
have
does he
thir-
do?
Sorry, Janice?
Well, what does he do?
He's one of those computer programmer type guys.
Oh, right. Very clever.
IT. He's an IT.
IT.
An IT man. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam's a paramedic, and Amy works in that she's a wages clerk, basically. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, Marcy, comments? Last comments?
I was just going to say I have 3 sons, and I started much earlier than you two. My oldest is 47, then I have a 44 and a 41. So anyway.
Gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They're always your babies, aren't they?
Yeah.
No matter how
Yeah.
old they are. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't like to hear you say that, but they are.
Yeah. 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 But my two get very embarrassed if I get the baby photos out, which I have done on occasions.
You have incriminating evidence, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm careful. I'm diplomatic.
That's a good thing.
So
Janice,
what do your sons do, Marcy?
Whoop, go ahead.
Excuse me?
What do your sons do?
My eldest is a house painter, and my dad was a house painter, and so that he took up that trade. And
Right.
my middle son is a machinist, and my youngest son puts lights on police cars.
Oh,
He
gosh.
installs lighting systems in police cars,
Ah,
and fire trucks and stuff.
right.
wow.
Yeah. So a
Very
big
nice.
specialist.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. All right,
Oh, gosh.
Janice, it's been great meeting with you. I think everybody can echo that as well. And it's been
Yeah.
really neat getting to. We've seen your posts and so forth. We've been back and forth and on the group and so forth. But the group gets to meet you this way, so it's been really neat.
Yeah.
If others enjoyed the talk here with another member of the 50-year plus group, hit the subscribe button. There will be more of these coming. Thanks, everybody,
Right.
and have a great day.
All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Janice. Okay.
Beautiful
Bye.
meeting you,
Nice,
Janice.
Bye.
nice
Bye now.
meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Lovely
Bye,
to meet you.
Marcy.